to the Maxi Canalla Show. I had to take yesterday as a cool down, so I didn't record after the games because I was really emotional, especially after that Argentina game. But I do want to get into the reviews. So let's start with the Argentina Egypt. In the beginning, Egypt starts trying to cause some problems for Argentina every now and then. Uh, and Egypt gets a corner, puts in a cross, and after Argentina controlled a huge portion of the game, Egypt scores their first goal. It's Yassar Ibrahim at minute 15 and puts it at the opposite corner. Dibu had nothing to do. He was rooted. But at minute 20, we see Tagliafico getting a good ball in behind the back of the defense. This was a thing that was happening throughout the whole game because Egypt was very tight in the middle, so Argentina had to get in from behind on the extremities, but Argentina doesn't have a lot of extremity players, so that was Tagliafico's job. Anyway, he gets taken down in the box for a penalty, and Messi has a chance to equalize. He misses, which is a rare miss, right? Schober saved it, but it was more Messi missing. I think he shot bad. It was a good height for the keeper to take it out. Kick. Lucky. McAllister also got a good chance at a cross from DePaul, but it goes straight to the keeper's hands. Schober was everywhere. Tagliafico puts in a cross. Julian Alvarez gets to the end of it and off of the line by Schober again. So Schober had a spectacular match up to the end of the first half, and after in the second half, minute 58, Egypt gets a second goal, but gets it disallowed for a foul on Licha Martinez. And it was disallowed because that started the goal. It was in the same play as the goal, so it was properly disallowed. In reality, it was properly disallowed. And then at minute 67, Mustafa Zico doubles Egypt's lead and breaks Argentina's hearts. Really, at this point I thought we were out. Minute 67. Minute 67, and they scored a second goal. But then Messi starts to carry Argentina on his back, playing a really bad game in the first half with the penalty miss included. It wasn't a game for Messi. He was not having a good one. So again, Argentina controls the whole match. Egypt is really tight in the back, congested middle. So Argentina can't play their signature football, which is lots of quick touches in the middle, getting close to the opponent's box, and they were making it impossible for Argentina. But like I said, Messi starts to carry. He puts in a cross at minute 78, 79, and guess who it is again? Cristian El Guti Romero. This guy is a monster, and he's having a phenomenal World Cup. A cross, and Romero heads it into the back of the net, but not without Schober getting a hand to it. This guy is insane. Schober was having such a great match, but thankfully Cristian Romero was able to get it across the line. And then at minute 83, Messi gets a layoff from Montiel after a couple of rebounds in the box, but Messi puts his laces through it, hits with his soul, blood, sweat, and tears to equalize the game. And at minute 92, Julian takes it off Salah in his own box. Look at Julian taking it off Salah in Argentina's own box and puts it through to Lautaro. Lautaro puts in a perfect cross, the perfect cross for Enzo. Enzo Fernandez, who was getting in the box, and Enzo scores the life goal. He scores the goal of his life. Cool, calm, and collected at the far post. The goalie cannot do a thing. He cannot get a hand to it. And Argentina wins 3-2. Messi now has 21 goals as the all-time goal scorer in World Cups at 39 years of age. Messi is the greatest of all time. He is the greatest of all time. And Argentina didn't win playing good. Even Messi had a bad game. But for those 15 minutes, he played like the greatest of all time. There was declarations from the Egyptian players and the coach saying that it was unfair, that the ref was on their side or on Argentina's side. And we've been hearing this for years since last World Cup too, that the refs help Argentina, that FIFA is helping Argentina. But there's a lot of people that want Argentina to lose. A lot of our anti-Argentinians, a lot of anti-Messi, a lot of haters. And this was a clean win for Argentina. Everything that happened was according to protocol, according to the rules. And declarations like that from a professional soccer player, a head coach of a whole country, I think is just insane. Like, that is such a dumb thing to say. Come on. Come on. They were winning 2 up. They could have put it away. Argentina just had the balls to win the game. And they also had the best player of all time on their side. Like, what are you going to do, right? Messi just decided not to lose today. He decided to put on his big boy pants and win the game for Argentina. And this is what this team has. This team has balls. This team has character. This team has all of these mystical effects around them. This team is just something to witness. It is history being made in the moment. And that's what is so emotional and so incredible about this team that I can't stop ever loving. I love this team. This is what this means. This is football. This is what I want to talk about. Argentina has this mysticism about them. Argentina carries that football, that legacy, those that character of playing with balls and winning, even while playing bad in a World Cup with all the pressure on them, with everybody against them. That's what I want to highlight today. But that's not saying that Argentina doesn't have issues, because they have a lot of them. Argentina played terrible today, and that's the truth. In the first half, it was really, really poor, and better in the second half. But really only at those last 20 minutes, I think, because Egypt was hitting us hard on the counter, really, really hard on the counter. The defending is so bad, but good at moments. It's shaky, I would say, because it seems like anybody comes at us with numbers and they could get a good chance of scoring on us. But what really is missing for Argentina is Lautaro and Julian, where they were both part of the third goal, yes, of course, but they are struggling to score, and they're not playing well. I think another bad performance from Argentina was De Paul. He is a big issue in this midfield. Uh, I think he's had an okay Mundial World Cup so far, but De Paul in this game played bad, and that's just the truth. I think it's mediocre from the ball so far. But I think it's Julian's time. I think he will score in this upcoming game against Switzerland now that we know who won. And I still think we're missing a bit more from Molina, who's not playing well in the World Cup so far. He's not playing bad, but he could still offer more. I know he has more. We've seen it before. And another big issue, I think one of the biggest issues, is Dibu Martinez. Dibu Martinez's World Cup has not been good at all. And it seems like anything going towards Argentina's goal is going in. Again, there's been some crazy goals that has been scored in Argentina. It seems like everybody turns into prime Maradona or Beckham, who can bend it into the back of the net. But um, still, it's like every shot coming towards goal is a goal. Um, and it's not anything like we've seen from Debo before. Of course, he's coming off from a fractured finger, which could be affecting him, which would be horrible news. And he wouldn't say anything about it, but I think he even is struggling about his level in the World Cup. But anyway, I want to talk about also Colombia, Switzerland. So in the first half of the game, I had really nothing happening. Both Kobel and Camilo Vargas had some saves, but the game ends 0-0. So in extra time at 98, this is where the action starts happening. Davidson Sanchez gets at the end of a corner and hits the crossbar. Crazy, because I think that maybe should have gone in. It hit the line, I think. And then Campas comes in off the bench well. I think Quintero also came off the bench well, but he cuts in, takes a shot. Kobo saves it. Campas also had some really good moments, and the one stain on Campas's game off the bench today was at minute 115, where he picks up the ball from a mistake from Shaka and has a one-on-one with the keeper, and it's a horror of an effort. He puts it over the crossbar, where it was way easier to get a shot on target. It was probably harder to get it where he got it, which is unfortunate. Because Campas plays for Rosario Central, and here in the Maxi Canalla Show, we support Rosario Central, obviously, and we want our players to do good, but Campas had a horror of an effort there. And I think that was pretty decisive. Anyway, the game ends 0-0, and we go to penalties. So first shoots Colombia, Quintero, and Shaka put away their first pens. And then the second penalty, Davidson Sanchez misses and hits the crossbar again, like minute 98. It's so unfortunate. Amdoni steps up for Switzerland in the second penalty and drills it in. Campas redeems himself by bearing the penalty, and Akanji skies his next penalty for Switzerland. Then Cucho Hernandez steps up and Kobel saves it. So the penalty that comes up for Switzerland is pretty important. Ethan buries it, and then Luis Diaz has to score, which he does. He puts it away. And then Ruben Vargas steps up for Switzerland, and he puts it away 4-3 on penalties. Switzerland goes through. It's a real shame. I wanted Colombia to win for my Colombian brothers. It would have been a really nice match. It would have been a rematch from that 2024 Copa America finals. It would have been incredibly awesome to watch them play in quarters. And now that Campas missed at minute 115 stings a lot more. When you get a chance like that, you have to make it. Because then those that you miss are then conceded. And Luis Diaz, I want to talk about Luis Diaz's World Cup. He has disappeared in the big games for Colombia. And also, Colombia had bad luck in the penalty shootouts. You know how penalty shootouts are a gamble in football. But yeah, it's just a shame. And I expected a lot more from Colombia. This is a big letdown. So with Colombia being eliminated, Argentina is the last America's team left in the tournament, which brings us to review the quarterfinals. I'm going to talk about the games, the crosses that we have, and tomorrow's game. France, Morocco. Set to be played on July 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time in the Boston Stadium. And this is going to be a banger of a match, I think. Kiki Mbappe is obviously having a phenomenal World Cup, and he has scored 7 goals so far in the competition and 19 all time. But he is also surrounded by what seems to be infinite class, like Olise, who has 5 assists, Dembele, El Mosquito, who buried 4 goals so far, Barcola and Doué, who are always showing high levels, and a good midfield in Rabiot and Chouameni, and a keeper in Mike Mignon, who always answers when he is called on. Um, but what I think is France's weak point a bit is their defense, which hasn't been tested yet in the World Cup, I don't think, by a proper team. So I think that's where France's weaknesses lie. But now on Morocco's side, we have seen some good levels despite what we saw in a poor performance versus Canada. But I want to talk about Onahi's levels. He's found some form in the last game just in time, scoring 2 versus Canada. So he can become pivotal in this match, especially because what we saw that Saibari, the main man for Morocco, coming off in what is speculated to be a hamstring injury. So that's a huge blow. It's going to be a major down for the upcoming match versus France, and he has 3 goals in the World Cup so far. So if he can't play, this is going to be a major loss for Morocco. But they do have a backup in Rahimi, who is said to be the main man up top for Morocco, who has scored 2 goals so far in the competition. And I think Morocco's best qualities are in midfield. We have Onahi, obviously, we talked about him, but we also have Brahim Diaz leading in assists for Morocco with 4 so far. We also have Hakimi, who's always an attacking option, and he has 2 assists in the competition so far. So we have really good names, really good players with high level. I'm excited to watch this match, Morocco and France. Last time they met was in Qatar 2022 in the semifinals on December 14th. And that's when France defeated Morocco 2-0 to get them to the finals. So this is set to be a hell of a match. I'm super excited to watch it. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen, who's going to go through. You think France is going to win? You think Morocco is going to win? I'm just super excited for this. It's set to be a wonderful match. All right, boys. That's going to be the end of the Maxi Canalla Show. Let me know what you guys think. Was the Egypt Argentina the best match in the tournament so far, or was it the most controversial for you? What did you think about Switzerland surprising Colombia? But I want to thank you all for listening to the Maxi Canalla Show. Enjoy the football, and remember, Aguante Central, Aguante Argentina, Aguante USA, and see you in the next one. All right, boys.